What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is again your late review of To Have It to Hold Charlotte. And let me tell y'all the truth. I watched this episode on Sunday. I've had this review ready to do, but the week just got away from me. And I just, you got shows on Sunday night, you got shows on Monday night, you got shows on Tuesday night, shows on Wednesday night. Last night, some stuff was going on YouTube that I was dealing with. So just ah so I apologize once again for this episode, for this review being late. But this is it. I'm all caught up. I think I got one more late one more late episode to put up, and I'm caught up for my vacation. But anyway, so this is To Have and to Hold Charlotte, uh season 1, episode 8, I believe. I believe we're on episode 8. Yeah, we're on episode 8. All right, so look, we pick up at the Christmas party. Let me tell you what I'm over. I'm over this whole three-way relationship situation. I'm over it. I really am. Um, just from the point of view of, it just seems like it's just been the subtext for the whole season. And my one of my issues is, I think there is fault on all three parts. Elaine, I understood what Elaine was trying to do. Um, Her timing was a little off. Her approach was very off. And when she read the tea leaves, she should have backed down. And what I mean by that is, when Peter was basically giving her the shut the F up, you know what I mean? She should have read the tea leaves and let it go. But she didn't. She dug in. She put 20 on 10, and it continued to move on. It got to the point where Peter finally had to sort of, Peter and Juliana got upset and started crying, and she went outside. Tayati and Christine went out to sort of comfort her. Peter came out to have a conversation with her, and they had a conversation. And I think the way it was explained, Peter used a very good analogy when he was explaining it. He was like, "Look, me and my brother are family, but I don't hang out with his friends. We have a two totally, different set of friends. I don't hang out with your friends." So, and Juliana said, "Well, I do understand that I have met them from you, and so I will follow. I have an upcoming event. Oh yeah. Oh shoot. I gotta do that when I get off the phone." Um, she said, "You're right, and I'll follow your lead. I know these are your friends, and maybe that's what I need to do." And I think ultimately, I mean, I know for the purposes of the show, she probably has to still be around certain things. But yeah, I think that's just pretty much should just be it. Elaine did bring up a good point that people just feel like whenever you invite Peter and um Josh somewhere, that either Juliana has to come or automatically Juliana will come. Like, I think that is a confusion when you're dealing with friends. You don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to invite one person and not invite the other person. So it is very much. I understand the conflict there, but Elaine was just Elaine, and I think that really made it worse. Then Tayati and um, David announced that they were separating, and again, Christine is in the confessional saying, "I called it. I called it." Again, you're not understanding why people had a problem with what you said. I don't think there was anybody in that friend group that thought that the nesting was a good idea. Nobody was disagreeing with you having an opinion. The disagreement was, it just wasn't the right thing to say at the right time. And just because you're telling your opinion, and just because you ended up being right, doesn't make it right that you said it when you said it. When you have a friend, a couple that are going through marital problems, I mean, unless it's like a domestic situation or it's an unhealthy situation, you want to be supportive, and you weren't being that in that moment, and you were being very disrespectful to them in that moment. And I think that's the part you're missing. Nobody has ever said you were wrong. I think all of us, myself included, never really thought the nesting thing was the best idea. But if your friends come to you and say, "Hey, this is what's going on in our relationship right now, and this is how we're choosing to handle it, and we're asking for your support," then that's what you do. That's just what you do, Christine. And I just think you were missing that. It wasn't about being right. Sometimes being right ain't always about being right. So anyway, but they went on to just talk about how they're still going to do things as a family, and they still want to, try to keep things as normal as possible. all the while dealing with their separation. Most people were supportive in their confessional. What Elaine said bothered me. Elaine said that she felt like they just stopped trying. And again, Elaine knows way more than I know. But I don't feel like they stopped trying. If this is something that's been going, if they ain't had sex in over what, 3 years, I think it was. That's bad. Ain't no way in the world I'm laying next to somebody every night and no. And there are no accusations of infidelity on either side. That says to me that there was still a commitment to the relationship and that they were trying whatever whatever the deficiency was. So I don't think they stopped trying. I think maybe they ran out of tools to figure out how to make it work. But I don't think they stopped trying. But again, you know more than I know. But I just thought that was a sort of an insensitive thing to say that they stopped trying. Um, then we see where Josh, Peter, and Juliana sit down and have a conversation. And honestly, I feel like we just had the same conversation that we've had 3 times on this season already. I don't see where they said anything different that wasn't already said, except for Juliana said that she's doing some things, working on herself, and some things she's not ready to talk about yet. But when she's ready to talk about them, she'll talk about them. Other than that, I didn't really see where we said anything different. I mean, they talked about Elaine being out of pocket, and Peter basically saying, "I ain't telling Elaine nothing else because I see now that it the way it's used as a weapon instead of used as her just being a friend." And like I said, Peter was venting to Elaine never for it to be used in the way in which it was used. And again, Elaine not reading the tea leaves once she saw Peter's reaction backing down. But neither here nor there. I ain't hear nothing different. We find out later on in the episode that Juliana is going to change her last name, which I said last week that I didn't think Josh had a right to ask her to do, but she wants to do it. Now, her wanting to do it is totally different than someone saying, "You need to give me my name back." Like, that sounds real Ike Turner to me. Not domestic violence, but y'all remember the part of the movie where, Tina Turner was like, "Okay, you can have whatever you want, but I'm keeping my name." Like, we fighting over a name. You know what I mean? But neither here nor there. I ain't mean nothing domestic, y'all. That ain't what I meant. I was just talking about the whole name situation. Um, then we see Ursula and Clint um Elaine and Yandrik taking a road trip to go down to where Ursula would possibly be having her practice if she's already made up her mind that she's going to go forward with this. And ultimately, this is what I pulled from this. One, Ursula, you tripping. You know good and daggone well that in rural North Carolina, there ain't no corporate housing. You're going to rent an apartment that's going to probably be a decent apartment, not used to where you living, but a decent, maybe 2-bedroom apartment so you'll have space so if the kids come to visit or whatever. Um, and it'll be nice. It'll be decent. It'll be cool. But it seems like they were going down in the hood. I mean in the country, not the hood, but down in the country. And ultimately, here's what I'm going to say to you, Ursula. Clint doesn't want to do this. And I understand why you want to do it. And I'm not saying you're wrong for wanting to do it. But you're talking about going away Monday through Friday, that for maybe a period of about 3 years. That's a long time. Or no, how long did she say she's going to do it? Oh, I forgot. But it was for a minute. 3 years, I think, wasn't was too long. I think that's too long. But for a long period of time. The husband in Clint wants to be supportive, but he really is not. He just really is not. And he doesn't really understand why you feel the need to do it this way. Like, he wants to be supportive of you having your own business, but he doesn't necessarily understand why you have to do it the way that you're doing it. Again, I understand why Ursula is doing this, and I understand where she's coming from, and I respect her decision. But I think you might, I don't know. I just hate to see y'all end up in the same situation as Sayati and David. But anyway. And Elaine, and they're all talking about how country it is and how deep into the country they're going and how they don't see nothing but trees and that and the other. So anyway, so let me get to my notes, y'all. I took notes. Tells Elaine out of light. Ursula told Elaine she was out of line with what happened at the Christmas party. She was like, we all feel like Juliana might be around a little too much, but you were out of line. The way you addressed it and handled it was out of line. I don't know if Elaine received it, but I appreciate Ursula for telling her. All right, so that was the first half of the episode. Second half of the episode was all about Christine's birthday. Christine is having a birthday party. Daryl is throwing her birthday party. And it was a beautiful party. I love that cake. Oh, that cake was everything. But they rented out a club, and Christine dressed up, and he gave her a 10-piece. And what a 10-piece is $10,000 worth of gifts. They got it from Drake, so I'm sure it's some sort of Drake lyric in one of his songs or whatever. And he gave her some Louis Vuitton purses, and he gave her I didn't see what else he gave her, but some Louis Vuitton shoes, two Louis Vuitton purses. I'm sure it was a few more things on the table, and then one of the purses had a bag full of money. Look, I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? If you got it and that's your boo and that's how you want to celebrate your boo's birthday, you do what you do. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at you at all. There were a couple of comments made about the nouveau riche and some other stuff. Look, y'all all nouveau riche. Ain't nobody over there sitting over there with plantation money. Y'all all nouveau riche. Anyway. There was a very, very Daryl and Christine had a conversation about fertility. Christine is actually she's inching a little bit closer. She said that she is ready to go and talk to the doctor about where her fertility is. She said, she did have to think after their friends brought up last week about having a baby isn't as easy as you think it's going to be. It's not a boom, boom, boom situation. And so she said that she will talk to the doctor to see what they need to start doing to start getting ready. So she ain't all the way there yet, but she closer. She inching closer. And Daryl, you smart. You a smart guy. Daryl says, so all I'm going to do is sit back and be quiet. I ain't going to push. I'm chilling. And that's probably the smartest thing you going to do. Because that's all you can do. Like, you can't make her. You've made your intentions very clear. She knows how you feel. She knows what you want. And so it's no need to continue to push it. Like, let her keep coming to it herself. Tayati and David have a very interesting and uncomfortable conversation about their rules of separation, and they started getting into dating. And here's what's gonna happen. The first time Tayati hear about David at the bar with somebody, going out to dinner with somebody, running to him at the movies with somebody, it's gonna be a whole nother situation. I don't think David wants to see Tayati with anybody either. But men and women handle it differently. I think it will bother her a whole lot more than it will bother him. And they were talking about not having other people that were dating in the house, and then she had to try to tell him who he couldn't date. Well, all them women you was messing with when we first met, you can't date none of them. You can't tell him who off limits. Talking about something you lost the first time. And he brought up a good point. He said, yeah, but they'll be happy to see. They'll be happy to see me back on the market. I was like, sure will. Don't think they won't come a sniffing. Don't think it. They get on the party bus for Daryl got a party bus for everybody. So everybody's on a party bus except for Christine. And somehow or another, damn it, they get to talking about the Christmas party again. Because I think Yandrik asked, was Juliana coming to the party? And immediately Josh got offended. I don't know. Why would I know that? How would I know she's coming? And so immediately it was an issue that turned into another little tip about Juliana and this party. When they get to the party, guess who comes to the party? Juliana. But Juliana and Christine have a genuine friendship. They are friends. They've been building a friendship. So she would have been invited regardless. This has nothing to do with Peter and Josh. This wasn't we invited Peter, we invited Josh, so we invited Juliana. No, Juliana would have been invited because her and Christine are building a friendship. And once again, Josh and Elaine get into an argument. I'm over it, y'all. I'm so over it. Like, I hope this is it. I hope we don't have to talk about this again because I'm over it. Nothing has changed. And until Josh, Peter, and Juliana start honoring each other's boundaries, because Juliana said that she doesn't feel like they honor her boundaries. Okay, well, no, I don't want to put words in her mouth. That's not what she said. She said they have to honor my boundaries. I don't want to say she said she feels like they didn't, because I don't want to put words in her mouth. But again, it's all about the three of them putting those boundaries in place. So Elaine, just step out of it. Like, stop it. Just stop it. And some people in my comments said they felt like Peter left Elaine out to dry. And I think that was even said that Peter left Elaine out to dry. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he left her out to dry, because I feel like he gave her a hint to shut the hell up. I felt like he told her to shut up. I felt like he let her know we ain't about to have this conversation. So I don't think he left her out to dry. I think she just didn't pick up on the hint, whether she chose not to pick up on the hint or she just didn't get the hint. But anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.